You see this? Is this what you want? Constant autos to go for you while you go do something else? You watch a Netflix series, you watch an anime, you watch a
Stop right there, criminal scum!
Whatever the case may be, I'm going to teach you exactly how to auto-loop OLDEUS. This is probably the easiest crest to do, and it's the reason why I'm probably only going to make a video on this one. Can you auto-loop all the other crests? Absolutely. But I think out of all of them, this one requires the least amount of preparation. But this does not go without saying that we don't need a little bit of preparation for this bad boy. There's a few things we need to lay out first before we get this auto to work. But first and foremost, what do we need? Above all, we need Est, because Est is the best. The reason why we need Est is because in order to deal damage to OLDEUS, you need to break the boss. Est has intimidation, meaning that she instantly drops the boss's break gauge to half, so you really don't have to worry about pretty much anything, because she can handle it all by herself. However, with that being said, we're going to need some equips. For one, we need Relic Mav. You get this from the Shadow of Eclipse boss fight or something like that. It's something Eclipse. You guys know the one I'm talking about. This thing gives you 100% break power, meaning that you're going to break the boss pretty freaking easily. Of course, there's some other stuff that you can use, like Duke the Legendary is really good. It's one of my favorite items to use on her, because with this and Relic Mav, it pretty much instantly breaks the boss. If you want to run more breakup on her, you can. Either way, only thing you want on Est, you at least need Relic Mav, and then after that, you need either equips that buff up your break power even more, or equips that have really high break values. The next unit we'll need in the team is going to be somebody that is like Forte. The reason why I recommend Forte is because she has a passive that gives everybody 50 arc gauge instantaneously, meaning that we already have a head start. And to push our advantage even more, so we have, of course, enough arc gauge to actually nuke OLDEUS once we get to the fight, we can put something like Type 0 on it, which, by the way, Type 0 is practically required for this auto to work. Now, if you don't have Forte, don't worry, you don't need it. You could use someone like Sonny J. Sonny J has 2 5-star support slots. It can accomplish pretty much the same thing that Forte is going to accomplish. Just make sure you have, of course, 2 Type 0s. You could also use someone like Shady. Shady is another very popular option. Pretty much anybody with either 2 5-star support slots or Forte is going to be your go-to. With Forte's other equips, it really doesn't matter too much, but if you want to know an equip that's really great on her that I personally really like, at least whenever I'm running it, of course, you could change this depending on if you're running a more magic damage dealer to work with this auto nuke, but I really like Nox on it. Nox gives you 60% physical damage up. It's a very fast animation, which we're going to need that for our equips, by the way. We need very quick animations, lots of damage instantaneously, buffs of everybody's physical damage, overall good stuff. So next, it comes to our damage dealer. We need our damage dealer to possibly have a few damage buffs of their own. They don't need it, but of course it will definitely help. But pretty much this damage dealing slot can be filled with anybody that's a competent damage dealer that's not dark. If they're dark, they won't deal damage because OLDEUS doesn't take damage from dark units. Some that you can use: Berwick. He gives himself 200 arc gauge, gives himself 100% crit, plus he has the damage up for himself. He can actually nuke OLDEUS pretty much on his own. You use someone like Hao. Hao is one of the best characters for it just because he has amazing slots and he also can take care of OLDEUS with pretty limited buffs. Another one that's really great for this is, of course, the king himself, Saitama. Just absolutely annihilates OLDEUS. He doesn't even need anyone else. He can just do it by himself. Gray, he can even do it. Orvel's also another good choice. Just pick a damage dealer that works for you in most other things, or if you nuke with other stuff, it probably can work here. As for the equips you're going to be running on this person, if possible, you want them to either have a magic or physical slot. Another thing too, if they have a support slot, be it 5-star support or 4-star support, it will also be really good. First and foremost, if they have a physical slot and you're running this, you want to have an equip that has very short startup frames. One of the best ones in the game that can do this is actually Grandestin. Grandestin gives you an instantaneous just boom, damage to the entire thing, kills everything, really great. However, you don't actually need Grandestin. If you don't have the true weapon version, you could go farm the Cross the Blaze story event to get the regular event Grandestin, and that also works. You don't even got to max LB it. It just needs to be max level. If you have a magic slot on your team, there's some items you can use, but the main one that everyone really likes because it's instantaneous, a lot of people have it because the unit that it belongs to is broken, and that's Juno's true weapon. True Testament is like a 3-4 second startup, instant damage. It'll wipe the entire team. And now, if you have the support slot is also very, very easy. You could either run another Type 0 if you think you can kill without crit. But if you think you need crit and you have a 5-star support slot, you could also run True EX Gate. The reason why you run True EX Gate instead of something like Letter Bag is because auto will not pop a crit item in the very beginning, which is where you would want your crit item to start taking effect. You want it to take effect as soon as you get into the quest. That's the reason why we run True EX Gate, because it will pop it since it considers it an Arch 10 item and not just a crit item. There's another item you can use if you have a 4-star support, which is actually the newest equip that we got recently from the mines. Divine Arachnid's Blood, it costs 50% of your HP. However, you increase everybody's crit rate by 120%, which this also activates on auto. And this has a little bit more uses just because it is a 4-star support, so a lot of people could equip this. Of course, you don't need either one of these. If you don't need the crit, you could just go more damage items in your support slots, or you could go something else. So you kind of just have to like experiment on your own. Main thing, you want to make sure that your damage dealer can clear the floors and then also be able to beat the boss. Now, they're not going to be the only one clearing the floors, because the final unit is the unit that you want to crest. Now, you may be like, but OP, I wanted to crest my damage dealer. That's fine. Use a unit that's going to help them out. But the last unit is literally a unit that you can switch out at any point in time. You want to crest Simon with the team that you already got. You want to crest, I don't know, a 4-star just because why not? Do it. Who cares? As far as this unit goes, if they want to deal damage with the main damage dealers, they can. But pretty much with them, it doesn't matter what their slots are or anything else. Just make sure that they're also running floor clearing items or damage buffing items if you don't need any more floor clears. And then wait, we're not done. The last thing to talk about is positioning. Positioning matters so much in the auto comp. Why? Because equips are used from right to left, meaning that the unit in the 4th slot or the furthest to the right equips will be used first, then the 3rds, then the 2nds, and then finally, of course, the 1st unit. Meaning we don't want to put our est at the very end, because est is going to pop all of our break equips at the very beginning. We don't want that. We want est actually all the way to the left. We want to make sure that we get to the final stage and est has all of her equips ready to use to insta break OLDEUS. So to show you an example, I'll just show you this team comp right here. As you can see, this is the team comp that we're using. We have our How in the 4th slot, or all the way to the right, Forte in the 3rd, Gray in the 2nd, and of course est in the 1st. We have a little bit of different equips compared to what I recommended, but the auto will still work out. The main thing is that we got True EX Gate in the 4th slot, meaning that that thing is going to be popping as soon as the quest starts. We got our Nox or our Forte in the 3rd slot, so this will help clear the very first stage. And then the boy Gray's in the 2nd slot with Grand Destin to completely wipe out the 2nd wave. That will then leave, of course, est with all of her equips, so we can break the boss in the final wave to, of course, get the nuke to insta-kill OLDEUS. And this is pretty much the gist of it, ladies and gentlemen. Once you figure it out, you just sit back, relax, and let the auto do the rest. There you go. That's an auto team for OLDEUS. Look at that. Look, you're doing it. You see that? Now, let me take a few steps back. People are already going to be coming in like, OP, this guide isn't great. It doesn't show us all the options. And yeah, I can't tell you all the options, because you know why? Because there's a lot. If you have a pretty solid account and you've been playing for a while and you've been able to nuke some things, you probably can nuke OLDEUS. Like, this guy is literally paper. Now, can you auto it? Probably. You may have to invest in some true weapons, but it may be worth it depending on if you want to have those level 4 crests and 4 pluses. Now, do you need to auto? Absolutely not. If you want to just sit there and play it manually, you absolutely can. But let me tell you, man, auto makes this such a breeze. Also, with all this type of team building videos, take it with a grain of salt as well. The only one that's necessarily required in this entire team is pretty much est. After that, you can kind of go with whoever other unit you want. Of course, the units I recommended just make it a little bit more consistent, but if you want to try something else that's a little bit crazier, a little bit more off the rails, you absolutely can. If you really want to get into this and figure out exactly how to do it, some of the best ways is just talking to other people, experimenting with them, theory crafting with them, and just seeing what you can do. But you can do that by joining my Discord down below. So yeah, that's how you auto farm it. Hope you enjoy it, and hopefully this video helps you. Of course, this is just how you auto farm OLDEUS. If you guys want to see how to auto farm the other crest, let me know down below, but I only wanted to do OLDEUS just because, like I said, I think he's the easiest to farm out of them all. But if you'd like to see the other ones, I could definitely make videos on them and tell you exactly what you need in order to beat those. But hey, that's gonna be it for this one though. Thank you all for coming out, and last but not least, don't forget to drink water.